In another life, everything from an epic last hurrah for one of the most iconic movie badasses of all time, to a far darker spin on a well-known fairy tale would have all made it past the pre-production stage, and possibly even smashed it in theaters all around the globe. But with each year that passes, it's becoming increasingly clear that these flicks are all likely very much dead. But they will never be forgotten. Gareth here from WhatCulture.com, and here are 10 movies we desperately wanted to happen, but never will. Number 10, an X-23 Logan spin-off. James Mangold's Logan easily ranks as one of the boldest and most impactful superhero movies of the last decade. And after initially saying goodbye to Hugh Jackman's Logan during the closing stages of that hugely emotional X-Men tale, Wolverine's fan-favorite daughter X-23, also known as Laura, seemed poised to take center stage in the next chapter of Mangold's gritty story. The director himself even admitted to working on a script that would focus on Daphne Keene's explosive character back when Logan landed on screens in 2017. But as of 2023, there's still no sign of an X-23 spin-off, looking at the days after Logan told his daughter not to become a monster like him. He died with his heart in his hands, damn it. Disney eventually buying Fox led to future X-Men stories being paused, before the studio eventually turned their attention towards bringing the mutants and other Fox heroes into the MCU. And the likes of the Gambit, Doctor Doom, Multiple Man, and of course X-23 flicks were all massively affected by the move. Mangold now has his plate full with his upcoming Star Wars feature and a few other non-mutant projects. So those desperate to see Laura unleash her claws once again on the big screen will likely have to settle for a potential Deadpool 3 cameo. Who do you think will pop up as a surprise cameo in Deadpool 3, eh? Well, let me know in the comment section right down below. Number 9, another Alien movie starring Sigourney Weaver. While the Alien franchise has actually hatched 4 features over the last 2 decades, if you're counting those showdowns with various predators, not one of those has boasted easily the series' most iconic figure. There was actually a moment there though, when it did seem as though the arch enemy of the Xenomorphs was set for a sensational return to this creepy universe. District 9's Neil Blomkamp was initially working on an Alien sequel back in 2015, and Weaver was very much interested in making her Ellen Ripley comeback in the tale that would be set after the events of Aliens, one that would ignore the 3rd and 4th Alien entries. However, with Ridley Scott's Prometheus follow-up by the name of Alien Covenant being prioritized over Blomkamp's flick, the film was soon shelved as Fox wanted to see how Scott's story performed. Sadly, all those hoping to still one day see what Blomkamp and co were cooking up in the days before Scott's Covenant flopped, were dealt a catastrophic blow in April as Weaver confirmed to Total Film that her days of being Ripley were over. That ship has sailed, were the megastar's comments on the Lost Alien project she wanted to do all those years ago, but we'll always have the concept art, eh? Number 8, Halo the movie. One of the most popular video games of the last 2 decades was once on the verge of being given the big screen treatment. That man again, Neil Blomkamp, was attached to direct the incoming live-action Halo adventure, and none other than Peter Jackson was also set to serve as the film's executive producer. Yet this particular Warthog ride hit a few speed bumps a year after it was announced, with Universal and Fox eventually clashing with Jackson and Microsoft over the amount of profit they'd be taking in the end. The film's $135 million budget was also rumored to be causing a few issues, and this all led to Jackson and co being given the ultimatum of lowering their deals or kissing goodbye to the project. The latter option was decided on, and Blomkamp ultimately announced the exciting project was officially dead in 2007. Fast forward to March 2022 and a Halo live-action TV series, with Steven Spielberg as executive producer, did at least blast onto screens via Paramount+. But the District 9 collaborators playing in the world of Master Chiefs and the Covenant still ranks as one of Hollywood's most intriguing coulda-beens. Number 7, Rogue Squadron. December 2020 saw the House of Mouse reveal that Wonder Woman director Patty Jenkins would be helming a brand new Star Wars big screen tale by the name of Rogue Squadron. But almost 3 years on from this awesome reveal, she was given that cool little teaser video, remember? Rogue Squadron still hasn't made its way out of the development hangar. In fact, the film was completely pulled from Disney's schedule last year. And while Jenkins would confirm in December that the project was still in active development, the recent reveal of a bunch of new Star Wars films seemingly leapfrogging her X-Wing adventure felt like another indication that this picture may not actually take off at all. There's also a chance that the idea of a Rogue Squadron movie could be scrapped in favor of adding the story to Disney Plus's ever-growing world of small-screen Star Wars stories instead, with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy confirming in April to IGN that they're still at least talking about a potential future for Jenkins' idea. It would unquestionably be awesome to see Jenkins, who is the daughter of a fighter pilot, be given the opportunity to unleash a high-octane big-screen story that is clearly close to her heart. But judging from both the director's comments and the general Star Wars landscape at this moment in time, it wouldn't be all that surprising to hear of this long-awaited project unfortunately burning up in the coming years. Number 6. Guillermo del Toro's Hellboy 3. In the wake of his first 2 installments of Hellboy Chaos going down a treat with audiences, Guillermo del Toro returning to close out this demonic story with one last entry felt rather inevitable. And while the director and his star Ron Perlman both appeared to be very much interested in ending the trilogy on an epic note, financing the 3rd chapter proved rather difficult. According to the Shape of Water and Pan's Labyrinth creator when speaking during a Reddit AMA, the fact the first 2 movies only made a small profit at the box office before proving to be DVD and video hits left many feeling that gambling on a 3rd outing without that home video safety net was too great a risk. A reboot of the franchise eventually landed in 2019 instead, and didn't exactly set the world on fire, with the David Harbour starring flop going down so badly that yet another reboot is now being lined up for the titular demon investigator. It is worth noting that the mighty Perlman evidently still feels the 2 owe it to their passionate fans to end their Hellboy saga with one last outing. But Del Toro's Twitter words back in 2017 of this much-wanted follow-up 100% not happening, and that is to be the final thing about it, as he put it, seem to officially confirm this threequel's disappointing death. Number 5. Sofia Coppola's The Little Mermaid. Every now and again, Hollywood suddenly gets obsessed with one specific fairy tale or well-known family story. Look no further than the sudden influx of Jungle Book adaptations a few years ago. The same thing appeared to be going down when it came to the much-loved Little Mermaid tale too, with both Universal and Disney looking to bring this underwater adventure to life in the mid-2010s. And while the House of Mouse version that eventually dived into theaters this year stuck largely to the Disney formula of the classic animated version, the Sofia Coppola-directed Universal offering was said to have been based on the original, much darker than Disney fairy tale. In the end though, Coppola dropped out of the project due to creative differences, with the Lost in Translation director stating to Variety that we couldn't agree on some elements. Seeing Coppola explore a darker version of the well-known tale, and even shoot the project underwater as she originally planned, would have definitely made for a fresh Little Mermaid experience. But the director has since admitted to just not being the right fit for the big budget project. And it now doesn't look like Universal's Under the Sea alternative will be making a splash anytime soon. Number 4. Madonna's biopic. The idea of pop icon Madonna not just being given the biopic treatment, but the megastar herself sitting behind the camera for it, made for one hell of a fascinating concept. Julia Garner was eventually picked to bring the legend to life in the flick, with the Inventing Anna and Ozark star beating out the likes of Florence Pugh and Alexa Demie during the intense audition process to secure the leading role. However, after all that, the incoming Madonna movie was scrapped in January after the director/central figure decided to focus entirely on her upcoming world tour instead, as you do. And while sources would tell Variety that Madonna still hopes to make a feature about her unique life one day, the fact the picture is no longer classed as in development at Universal Pictures, and other sources told THR that it was actually scrapped before her tour was made official, seems to suggest this version of the Madonna story won't be making a comeback again in the future. Number 3. Real Steel 2. Almost 12 years ago, eventual Stranger Things and Free Guy director Shawn Levy helmed a charming slice of sci-fi by the name of Real Steel. Folks definitely connected with the story of Hugh Jackman's one-time boxer Charlie Kenton, working with his estranged son and his former coach's daughter to give an old sparring bot a shot at robot boxing immortality. Sure enough, Disney and DreamWorks reportedly began working on a follow-up before the rather popular first Real Steel was even officially released in cinemas. 3 years on from that though, Levy confirmed at the Toronto Film Festival that both he and Jackman hadn't landed on the right script to justify a return, and his words of needing to make the film happen soon, or the audience may not be there in the same way, felt pretty ominous at the time. Then, after years of wondering when Real Steel would get back in the movie ring, it was surprisingly revealed that a Disney Plus series set in Levy's robotic world was in early development at the start of 2022. However, the rather busy original feature gang finally getting back together for another big screen round of mechanical fisticuffs still feels increasingly unlikely. Who needs more Star Wars, Levy? Give me some robot boxing. Number 2. Kill Bill Volume 3. The name of Quentin Tarantino's rumored final ever movie was revealed in March, and while the movie critic will surely be a typically outrageous effort from the legendary filmmaker, that announcement did leave some folks feeling a touch disappointed at the fact another longed-for project was seemingly put in the ground once and for all. Even as recently as 2021, Tarantino appeared to be excited about the concept of throwing Uma Thurman back into a Kill Bill tale, alongside real-life daughter Maya Hawke as the bride's daughter Bibi, with the two going on the run after 20 years of peace. However, with the Pulp Fiction and Reservoir Dogs creator also confessing that the reason we still hadn't seen a third volume was largely due to killing himself making the first two, it now feels pretty likely at this point that QT will just ride off into the sunset after unleashing his 10th slice of cinema. Number 1. Another Henry Cavill Man of Steel flick. It was so close. After years of wondering whether the Man of Steel himself, Henry Cavill, would officially return to the DCEU and finally get his long-awaited solo sequel, the Brit rocked up opposite Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam at the end of that otherwise unremarkable October 2022 feature, and the world rejoiced for about 10 minutes. Not long after it was reported by The Hollywood Reporter that a Man of Steel 2 was in development, December brought with it the disappointing update of Cavill actually not being a part of James Gunn and Peter Safran's plans for their DC movie universe going forward. Instead of that Cavill starring Man of Steel picture, the Suicide Squad director is moving forward with his own Superman legacy project. So Cavill was soon left on the outside looking in, and those who spent a decade holding out hope that they'd once again see this version of the Man of Steel soar in a hotly anticipated sequel were just left wondering what could have been, and playing his 10-second comeback cameo on repeat. What a time it was, eh? And that's our list of any other movies we desperately wanted to happen but never will. Well, let us know all about them in the comment section right down below, and don't forget to like, share, and click on that subscribe button while you're down there. Also, if you're a fan of this sort of stuff, then please head on over to whatculture.com and find some more fantastic articles just like the one this video you're watching right now is based on. I've been Gareth from whatculture.com, cheers for stopping on by today. Now go and click on some more What Culture goodness wherever you are on this planet, and have yourself the best of days. Bye bye!